You've tried before, multiple times, different strategies, different approaches, always the same result. Another failed attempt at building discipline, another broken promise you made to yourself last week. Here is what is actually happening. And trust me, this will change everything you thought you knew. The system isn't broken. You've been following the wrong system entirely, and it is designed to keep you trapped. Stop blaming yourself. That is not the problem here. Why your brain sabotages you every single day. Your alarm goes off. You plan to wake up early today. Exercise before work. Be productive. Then something strange happens. Your hand reaches for the snooze button before you are even conscious. That is not laziness. That is programming. Years of it. Your brain executing patterns you didn't choose. Every decision you make creates a neural pathway, like carving trails through a forest with repeated steps. Your current habits, those are super highways in your brain now. 8-lane freeways, impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, your new goals are dirt paths overgrown, barely visible. Your brain defaults to the highway every time. The devastating truth, every time you choose comfort over growth, you are paving that highway deeper. Think about your phone right now. How many times have you checked it today already? You probably don't even remember picking it up half those times. That is automatic behavior. That is your brain on autopilot. And autopilot always chooses the path of least resistance. The food delivery apps know this. Social media platforms exploit this. Entertainment companies weaponize this. They've spent billions understanding your brain better than you do, then built systems around those weaknesses. You are not fighting yourself. You are fighting the most sophisticated behavioral manipulation in human history. The motivation trap that keeps you stuck. Everyone talks about finding your purpose, discovering your why, getting fired up and motivated. That advice sounds inspiring. It feels good to hear, but it is completely backwards. Let me show you why. Think about something you do consistently without thinking about it. Maybe it is locking your door when you leave, putting on your seatbelt, checking your phone. Did motivation make those habits stick? Did you need inspiration to lock your door this morning? Number you did it automatically, without feeling, without thought. That is how discipline actually works. Real discipline happens in the gap between wanting to quit and choosing to continue anyway. Motivation is a spark. It gets you started, but sparks die out fast. Discipline is the engine. It runs whether you feel like it or not, rain or shine. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for perfect weather to water your garden. The plants die. Most people start their fitness journey on January 1st. Peak motivation, New Year energy flowing. By February 15th, gyms are empty again. What happened? The motivation faded, the feeling disappeared. Those who succeed aren't more motivated. They're more systematic. They built structures that don't require feeling. The identity problem you haven't noticed yet. Look at your actions from the past 7 days. Not your intentions, your actual behavior. What do those actions say about who you are? Not who you want to be. If you scrolled for 3 hours daily, you are a scroller. That is your current identity. If you broke your promises to yourself, you are unreliable, even to yourself. That is the truth. Your identity shapes everything. It is the operating system running in the background of your life. Every action you take is a vote. A vote for the type of person you are. Hit snooze. You voted for being someone who hits snooze. That is 1 vote. Do it 30 days straight. That is 30 votes. Your identity as a snooze hitter is solidifying. The terrifying part, you are building an identity you never consciously chose. 1 unconscious vote at a time. Your brain seeks consistency with your identity. It is called cognitive dissonance when behavior conflicts with identity. That is why smokers who say, "I am trying to quit," fail. They still identify as smokers. But someone who says, "I am not a smoker," succeeds. Different identity, different behavior follows. You can't out-discipline a bad identity. You'll always default back to who you think you are. The friction principle nobody teaches you. Want to know the real secret behind discipline? It is stupidly simple, almost embarrassingly obvious. Make the right thing easy. Make the wrong thing hard. That is it. Your environment shapes your behavior more than your willpower ever will. Design it accordingly. If you want to read more, put books everywhere. Nightstand, coffee table, bathroom, car. Want to eat healthy? Stop buying junk food. Can't eat what is not there. Want to stop scrolling? Delete the apps, not hide them. Delete them completely, but I need willpower to delete them. Number, you need willpower to resist them every day. One hard decision now eliminates 1,000 hard decisions later. That is leverage. Look at your bedroom right now. What is the easiest thing to do there? If your phone is on the nightstand, scrolling is easiest. If workout clothes are laid out, exercise wins. The path of least resistance wins every single time. Stop fighting it. Design it. Professional athletes don't rely on motivation. They remove every obstacle between them and training. Their gym bag is packed. Their meal prep is done. Their schedule is blocked. No decisions needed. Decision fatigue is real. Every choice drains your mental energy. Discipline requires eliminating unnecessary choices. The 2-minute rule that changes everything. Here is where most people catastrophically fail. They set massive goals, run a marathon, build a business. Those goals are fine, but they're terrible starting points. Too big, too overwhelming, too easy to avoid. Instead, focus on the smallest possible version. So small, it feels ridiculous to skip. Want to build a reading habit? Don't commit to reading 30 minutes daily. Commit to 1 page. Want to start exercising? Don't plan hour-long workouts. Commit to putting on your workout shoes. Want to meditate? Don't aim for 20 minutes. Commit to taking 3 deep breaths. The goal isn't the outcome. The goal is showing up. Showing up builds identity. 1 page of reading seems pointless, but it is not about the page. It is about becoming a reader. Once you are a reader who shows up daily, reading more becomes natural. Identity drives behavior. The 2-minute rule works because it removes the emotional resistance. Your brain can't argue with 2 minutes. "I don't have time" doesn't work. Everyone has 2 minutes. That excuse dies immediately. Once you start, momentum takes over. You read 1 page. Suddenly you've read 10. You put on workout shoes. Suddenly you are doing the workout. Starting is 90% of the battle. The accountability system you are missing. You know what is interesting? You never miss work meetings. You show up to scheduled appointments consistently. Not because you are more motivated for those, but because there is external accountability attached. Other people are expecting you. There are consequences for not showing up. That structure works. But personal goals, no external pressure, no consequences. Just you and your flaky promises to yourself. That is why you need systems, structures, external accountability that doesn't rely on your feelings. Find an accountability partner, someone who checks in daily, someone who calls you out on excuses. The person you become is determined by the standards the people around you will tolerate. Surround yourself with disciplined people. Their standards become your standards. Their normal becomes your normal. Join communities built around your goals. Fitness communities, business communities, whatever aligns with your direction. When everyone around you wakes up at 5 a.m., waking up at 5 becomes normal. When everyone around you works on their business daily, working daily becomes expected. Public commitment increases, follow through by 65%. That is research-backed data. Use it. Post your goals publicly. Update your progress regularly. Make breaking promises socially costly. The setback strategy nobody prepares for. You are going to fail. Let's be clear about that right now. Multiple times probably. Most people quit after their first failure. They see it as proof they lack discipline. That is the wrong interpretation entirely. Failure is data. It shows you where your system broke down. Did you skip the gym? What happened? Got home late? Too tired? Okay, new system needed. Solution. Pack gym bag the night before. Go straight from work. Don't go home first. That is problem solving, not self-judgment. Big difference between the two approaches here. Discipline isn't never failing. Discipline is getting back on track faster each time you fall off. Track your recovery time. First failure took you 3 weeks to restart. Next time, 3 days. Then 3 hours eventually. You miss once and immediately get back on track. That is progress. That is discipline developing. Not perfection, just faster recovery. Build in forgiveness to your systems. One missed day doesn't erase progress. Don't catastrophize. The all or nothing mentality destroys more goals than anything else. Perfectionism kills consistency. Miss one workout. Do 10 minutes instead of quitting completely. Partial credit counts. The energy management blueprint. Discipline isn't really about willpower. It is about energy. You can't force discipline when you are exhausted. Your sleep quality matters more than your morning routine. Can't out-discipline chronic sleep deprivation. Your nutrition matters more than your motivation. Can't sustain discipline on sugar crashes and caffeine. Your stress levels matter more than your goals. Chronic stress destroys your prefrontal cortex function. That is the part of your brain responsible for self-control. Stress literally damages your discipline capacity. You are not building discipline. You are building the conditions where discipline becomes possible. Start with sleep. Non-negotiable, 7 to 8 hours. Same bedtime nightly. Screen-free before bed. Fix your nutrition. Next, protein with every meal, stable blood sugar, hydration throughout the day. Manage stress actively. Meditation, exercise, nature, whatever works. Make it systematic, not occasional. These aren't optional foundations. They're prerequisites. Discipline without energy is impossible. Think of discipline as a plant. You can't yell at a plant to grow. You create the right conditions. Sunlight, water, soil. Then growth happens naturally. The compound effect you can't see yet. Here is what happens when you show up daily for something small. Nothing at first. That is the frustrating part, the invisible part, where most people quit. You read 1 page daily for 2 weeks. Have you finished a book? Number feels pointless. But you've read 14 pages. More importantly, you've become someone who reads daily. You've cast 14 votes for that identity. That is the real progress happening beneath the surface. Month 3 is when things shift. You've read 90 pages now. That is progress becoming visible. But the real transformation isn't the pages. It is the rewiring happening in your brain. You are building neural pathways, automating behavior, creating new defaults. That is permanent change. 6 months in, reading isn't a discipline issue anymore. It is automatic. It is who you are. That is when compound interest kicks in. Small actions don't add up. They multiply. 1% better daily equals 37 times better in a year. That is exponential growth. But it requires surviving the invisible phase. where progress feels non-existent. That is where discipline matters most. The truth about starting right now. You already know what you need to do. That is not really the problem here. The problem is the gap between knowing and doing. That is where everyone gets stuck. You are waiting for something, the right time, the right feeling, the right circumstances. Those conditions will never arrive. The right time is always now. This exact moment. Not Monday, not next month, not after you finish this video, right now. Close this video after it ends. Don't watch another one. Take one action immediately. One push-up, one page read, one healthy meal prepared. Something, anything. Just move. That single action changes your identity in this moment. You become someone who takes action. The next action becomes easier. Then the next momentum builds from that first move. Discipline isn't something you suddenly have one day. It is something you build one decision at a time. Every moment is a choice. Every choice is a vote. What are you voting for? The person scrolling endlessly, or the person building something meaningful? You decide right now, not tomorrow, not later. This moment, this choice, this action, that is where discipline begins. The devastating truth. You already have everything you need. You are just not using it yet. Stop waiting, stop planning, stop researching. Start doing, start now. Become the person you claim you want to be. Your future self is watching. Make them proud. Take the first step, then take another. That is discipline.